Good morning, class 11. Welcome to your online education class. Still now we have discussed we were discussing the 9th chapter, forms of education, and over there we have seen that three different forms of educations are there: informal, formal and non-formal. And we have already started with the informal system of education, form of education, and over there we have seen that family is considered as the most important institution of informal education. Now we have already learned what is informal education, what are the characteristics of informal education, and in the last video we have done the direct responsibility of a family. Now today the topic of discussion is what are the educational responsibility of a family. Now before going to the discussion, see, a family means a lot to us, isn't it? So we will not consider that educational responsibility of a family only means to admitting the children in a good school and giving them a good education, and they are passing out with flying colors and they are getting great jobs. No. Family, it is the education responsibility of a family includes the all-round development of an individual, because the family will be encouraged, it will be supported if the child becomes a good and a responsible citizen, as well as a good career holder. And again, in this just reverse, if the child is is no hope and the person is not having a good career and is not earning good money and is not taking responsibility of the family, elderly members of the family, then family person will only be blamed, because the others will blame that, yes, how is the family? We have to see, we have to consider that what is the background of the family. Don't we discuss all these issues? This is very common that we discuss. So educational responsibility does not only mean the education and a good career. So in case of this education of family, which is provided by the family, it is included informal and formal both. Because see, in a first case, the child is being admitted in a good school for a good career, for a good future, so that the child get a better education than other, isn't it? So that is a formal education. And informal education is what? By imitating, by seeing, by observing how the child is learning. So we will divide here different responsibility, educational responsibility of a family. So number one, responsibility of behavioral education. Now see, from the very beginning of the life, when the child used to observe, the most effective result which comes out from observation and from imitating is different sorts of behavioral technique. Now how we are talking, how we are speaking with the others, how we are conversing, what is the mode of delivery, everything the child is learning from the family. So when the family members are behaving, they must consider it, they must think it, that what they are doing, that will be learned by the child, and that will reflect in the child's behavior. So this is the first one where we can see that different behavioral techniques are learned by the child with the help of the parents' behavior. Now the second thing is habit formation. Now see, again I have to repeat, behavior and habit is quite closely related, isn't it? See, habit means the day-to-day habit, the good habits, whatever the child is learning from the home, because that is the stage when the child used to learn good habits and they used to eliminate bad habits in his life by the guidance by the guidance of the parents. The age is infancy or early childhood. So in that time the majority of the time of a day, the child used to spend with their parents and family and elderly members. So whatever habit they are having, the parents are having, the child used to hire it and they used to follow. And there's a great influence of grandparents and great grandparents on the child. So when they are behaving, you will see that it's a very common issue and common problem that the child is also sitting with their grandparents and they are watching TV and television serials and all those bogus programs, which is not at all desirable, isn't it? Because a child is having a very sensitive mind. So if we, being parents, we do not take care of all these issues, then the habit and behavior which will grow is maybe not healthy for the child. So this is the second point, responsibility of habit formation. Third one, responsibility of vocational education. Now see, this age is mainly technology oriented, isn't it? So we are in a society where there is a huge technical advancement, technological advancement rather. Okay, so here the parents are running behind different sorts of courses, different sorts of computer courses, different sorts of vocational courses. Now see, but unfortunately some parents are there, those who cannot take the responsibility of admitting their child to a vocation which is maybe very costly. So in that case, how the parents are helping the child? The profession or the vocation which is received by his parents, they are transmitting it to the next generation or the upcoming generation. So when the child is seeing that yes, my father is like that or my mother is in this profession, excuse me. So when the child is seeing that yes, this is the profession of my father or my mother is in this profession, maybe the child is influenced and they are hiring or they are taking the same profession taken by their parents. So that is also indirectly they are helping their child in their vocational choosing or vocational education. Next point, responsibility of emotional development. So emotion means what? It's love, fear, anger, rage. Many points are there, isn't it? So that development occurs along with the development of habit formation and the responsibility of behavioral education. So when behavior and habit is forming simultaneously, they are developing their own emotional development. Where the situation occurs when they start crying, after sometimes they are smiling, and these different ways of reaction they are learning from their parents. So how they are controlling their emotion, though we may have seen that the child who's feeling like outburst with cry but still not crying, and sometimes we see very frequently a child is crying, means the balance is not proper, maybe the improper, anything excessive and anything very less, both are effective, isn't it? So there should be a balance, and that is being learned by the informal agency called education, family, because the child is saying yes, whatever happening, my mother is getting angry or my father is getting angry. So generally we will see that the child will also get angry according to as he has seen his parents. Now sometimes we see that the child, it can be connected with the behavior as well. Sometimes you see that a child is beating his friend in the school. So complaints, generally we have to forward that yes, your child is beating everyone. Generally we have seen that the child, those who beat others, they used to get beating from their parents as well. So these are emotional, this anger, this behavior, everything is highly connected with the family and its background. Now these all are the main factors. And next one is responsibility of mental development. Now mental development is also highly linked with habit. And what is the mental development is, you can tell that it is highly connected with emotional development. How? Because with several experiments we have seen, and we have seen that the psychological factor like liking, disliking, interest, aptitudes, then favoring something, eating habit, everything is highly connected with the family members. How the family members, like eating habit is also a type of it's also a part of development, where different sorts of development is taking place, and they are connected with the members of the family, how they are behaving, how they are reacting, how their mental status is, how they are emotionally developed or not. Next is social development. Now see, social development is also connected with family members. Because why? Because in our society, if you see, if you look around, you will see that different sorts of people are there. Some of they are coming up to the peoples, they're meeting each other, they're enjoying, they're communicating each other. And some families you will see, they do not bother about the external world. They are happy with themselves, isn't it? Among themselves, among the family members. In this case, you will see they are not joining to the social occasions, social group programs, and the child, those who are in their family, they also do not communicate with the other child of the society. And so they are not learning how to communicate with others, how to come up with the others, and what to say, how to say, and what they should not say. So the communication, the society is a place where we can connect each other, isn't it? But due to the less amount of communication, the child is also not learning the social rules and norms, how to behave. Sometimes you will see a child may be reacting much in a social program. Over there, the parents are feel embarrassing, but unfortunately, it is the responsibility of the family to teach the child that how he should behave in an occasion or in a gathering or in a group. But the communication between the society and the individual is very less. That's why the child has not learned how to behave. Now the next one is spiritual consciousness. Now spiritual consciousness, if we think of spirit, we will think of God. We can think of Atma, and we can think of supernatural power, all these activities, isn't it? All this faith and belief. Now, we will generally see that what the family is thinking or how they are behaving in these spiritual programs, in the religious programs, where there's a belief and a faith is a great virtue, isn't it, over there? But in case of the family, those who do not believe in all this family, you will see the child is also not learning all these things. Either it is good or bad. It is a controversial topic, because we cannot say that whether we should believe. It is individualistic. The thought and thinking is individualistic, because we cannot say that yes, you have to believe on God, and we cannot say that we should not believe on God. It is individualistic. But generally, this spiritual consciousness, this spiritual development comes up from the background of the family, how the parents are thinking, what the others are thinking, how they are influencing your life, like that. So these are all about the educational responsibility. Now if we consider all these factors, we will see, we can say that how these are becoming educational responsibility. As I have told you in earlier, that educational responsibility does not only mean admitting a child in a good school and getting out with a colorful result, okay, and a bright future. No, educational responsibility of a family is if someone will behave in a good manner, what we will see, what a good education is given by his parents or her parents, isn't it? So education is not only about the certificates and character certificates and results and all. So it is a all-round development of and responsibility of a family, so to help the child to grow and develop. So this is all for today. In the next stage, we will start discussing the limitations of a family, and that will be the last topic of family. We will proceed with the same chapter. It's a quite long chapter, as I have told you, and we will start with formal system of education on other. Thank you.